Hey guys, happy Monday. I so wish that the time change never happened. Like what you guys don't think 1 hour is a big difference, but it is so big to me anyways. It's so big. Like one more hour of sleep would have been nice. Especially since I am heading out to San Antonio today and I still have to pack and the airport shuttle is coming to get me. So it's gonna be like literally a 2 hour sleep day, but that's okay. 'Cause once you know how you get up and you get going and you take your capsules, then you're all right. Everything's cool. I'm not taking mine yet though, 'cause I'm gonna go back to sleep after this Zoom for about 2 hours before I have to get up and pack. First of all, if you who's new, like if you're joining us in the chat this morning, I would love to know who is new? Who, like, maybe it's the first morning you're joining us. Maybe you just started joining us recently. Um, who's new? I would love to see that in the chat. Or maybe we only have veterans on today. Oh, we got a first timer. Woo woo. Sarah, so proud of you for getting on. Okay. Shandy, am I saying that right, Shandy? Give me a thumbs up. Tiara, Phoenix. Girl, that's where I live. Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, cool. Well, I love seeing new faces and you guys every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we do this. So, the link is the same, the time is the same. Save it in your phone because it is such a cool way to start your morning. Um, I am super excited because we are hitting like literally we started this Zoom January, March, April. Oh my gosh, we've been doing this Zoom for a few months now and it's so crazy how many people we get on in the morning. I get so excited. I'm like, where are you guys? This is so cool. Like you guys are up and I forget like people are on their way to work. It's like what it's something to do on the way to work. Why not, right? Well, if you're new, one of the things that we do every single morning on this Zoom is we start our morning out with gratitude because there's no better way to start your day. And it's really hard to have a super bad day after you've started off with the things that you're grateful for. So, for those of you guys that are familiar and you know how this rolls, make sure you got your gratitude journal out. Or if you do not have a journal, you guys know the drill. Grab a pen, piece of paper, marker, crayon, whatever you've got. And this is the time right now while I'm talking that you want to write down those 5 to 7 things that you are grateful for from the last 24 to 48 hours. And you guys, Easter weekend, I think we probably have a lot to be grateful for. Most of you guys probably saw family yesterday. Um, Unfortunately for me, I am in another state than the rest of my family, so I did not get to see them. But the cool thing is I spent time with my kids and we went out to dinner. It was nice. So I'm super grateful for that time. And I'm sure you got some great things to be grateful for from over the weekend. Just the fact that we're alive. We are alive. Um, is a really cool thing. And take time, guys. I know it sounds silly that every day. I was reading something the other day about successful people's habits, and things that all successful do. Well, not all, but most successful people do. And one of the things that it said, versus people that, let's say, um, the article was about people that make over $200,000 a year and people that make less than $200,000 a year. And they were saying that people that make over $200,000 a year read. They read. Whether they listen to audio books, whether they read them, whether they hold on a second. Let me mute out. Sorry, guys. We got some background noise going on. Um, they read, and I was like, okay, that's super interesting. And I was thinking about like my habits now versus when I was bartending and waiting tables and before I knew about this industry and before I really knew what self-development was. And I was thinking, man, I did none of the things that I do now, all of these amazing things that I've learned. And on that list was gratitude and dream boards, vision boards. I was like, really? People do that outside of network marketing? I thought that was just our jam. Nope, vision boards are everywhere. And basically they said like CEOs of companies and like billionaires like have vision boards or they utilize these things like law of attraction and things like that. So it was super interesting to look at, and I was thinking, it's so true because if I went and I polled friends and family that I have now that don't know about this industry, that work normal jobs, that never really have delved into self development. I bet you none of them would do any of the things that we're teaching. But I always say success leaves clues, right? I mean, that's not something I always say. That's something that's said. Success does leave clues. That's a fact. And I was like, I want to be like the people making over $200,000 a year, right? We all want to be that person. So why would we not pick up those habits? And included in those habits was starting your day out with gratitude, having a gratitude journal, having a journal. So to me, the proof is in the pudding. And so if you're not starting out every single day with gratitude and with, your I am statements and what are things that you want to accomplish. And the other thing was vision and goals. Successful people have visions and goals. So they don't just wing it. They don't just go, I want to go 4K and then, wake up the next day and go about their day. They write down, this is how I'm going to get there. These are the things I need to do to get there. This is my plan and list daily to get there. So, when you look at how do I need to get from point A to point B, sometimes we think a lot of these things are just hot air or, how can gratitude help me grow my Lavelle business, right? I'm sure that's entered in your mind at some point. I remember when I first got started in the industry and somebody told me to make a vision board. I thought that is so stupid. I am not a child. I know exactly why I need to do this. I need to feed my kids. I do not need to sit down, nor do I have time to grab a cardboard and some newspapers and cut things out and stick them to put. I mean, that just seemed so. I didn't need to do that. That's what I thought. And I didn't do it. I just thought it was the silliest thing ever. And I remember literally getting stuck at one point, and a mentor of mine said, I want you to go back and I want you to think and about the things you've been told to do but you haven't done. And there was a lot of them, you guys. How many of you guys, if you had to be completely honest, you've hopped on these Zooms, you've heard us say, do this, do this, do this. How many of you guys know for a fact that there's things that you have not done or have not tried? You've heard it. You've maybe heard it over and over and over again, but you haven't physically done it or tried it. Be honest. It's okay to be honest because there's still things I haven't done or tried, guys. There's still things that I have not done and tried, and I've been in this industry for 11 years. Well, for me, there was quite a bit on that list, but one of the biggest things at the top of my list was that dream board. And I sat down, I did it. I felt kind of silly doing it. It felt weird, foreign, but it made the biggest difference. And I remember when somebody came to me and said, gratitude and I am statements. It felt, I don't know, weird for me, out of place. I thought, how is this going to help me in my life and in my business? And I can't even begin to tell you how much the practice of gratitude, I am statements, writing out my vision statement, having a word for the year, um, just these little tidbits that you hear us drop and other successful people drop in books and audios. I can't believe the difference that it made in my business to start adopting those things. So, I think the moral of the story for me this morning, and I hope while I was chatting about this, you were writing down your gratitude. And if you want, and if you feel good about it, share something that you're grateful for over the past 24 hours in the chat with us. But I think the moral of the story is, what have you not done or tried Maybe you just blew it off as silly, or I don't really need to do that, or even it could be as simple as, I'm too scared to go live. I haven't done that yet. Or, you know what, I've never delved into Instagram. I don't even have one. It could be a multitude of things. It could be I've never picked up a book. I've never even tried to listen to an audio. I always hear them talk about this vision board, but I've never made one. Or I know Lisa every morning gets on this Zoom and the other leaders and they say, do your gratitude. And I really am not doing it behind the scenes. I want you guys to make a list today, not tomorrow, not the next day, because it'll be something else you forget to do. It'll be something else that gets pushed off to the side that you just go, yep, I'm gonna get to that, and you don't get to it. Today, when we get off this morning, when you've got time at lunch or whenever you've got 5-10 minutes, I really want you to sit down and think about what are things that I have not done, because I promise you, in 11 years, if there's things that I have not done or tried to grow my business yet, you definitely have things that you have not done and tried to grow your business. And sometimes it can be in that list when we get real raw and real with ourselves. Sometimes it can be right on that piece of paper what we're missing. It's amazing to me how when I started to change my mindset, my business started to change. My business started to grow. And it was because I started doing all of these things that I thought were silly or that I could skip over or that weren't important. How many of you guys have ever been on a Zoom? Oh my gosh, I do this all the time, you guys. How many of you guys have been on a Zoom and you're like, oh my God, light bulb moment. That was the best idea ever. And you write it down. Okay. Or maybe you don't write it down. You either write it down or you don't write it down, either way, but you're just like light bulb moment. Oh my gosh, that is genius. I've got to try that in my business. How many of you guys have done that and you don't try it? You want to know why you don't try it? Because you forget about it. Because the law, okay, so there's another book I read, and in this book they talk about that if you do not implement a new idea when it's on your mind within literally 24 hours, 90% of the time it doesn't get implemented. So you guys are hearing, if you think about this, you guys are hearing a ton of really good stuff when you hop on our Zooms from all these amazing leaders on our team. You're hearing these tidbits, you're having these aha moments, and they're leaving you within 24 hours, right? It's kind of like a dream. You have like the best dream ever. You can remember it for like 10 minutes, and then you try to go to explain it to somebody later that day, and you're like, dang, there's parts I'm forgetting. This is what will happen if you don't implement things that you're learning immediately. So when you have those light bulb moments, I want you guys to write it down and do it within 24 hours. Like start implementing it in your business. Start trying it immediately, or else it's going to be something that gets pushed under the rug. I can't tell you guys how many times there's aha moments or things that I'm like, that is genius. And it never gets applied and I forget all about it. I forget all about it because I don't do it right away. And I learned, oh my gosh, that is one of the truest things I've ever read in any leadership book, or it was a team, I think it was on team building, but it was one of the truest statements I ever read, because you all know what I'm talking about. You hear something amazing and then you don't do it and you're like, dang, what was that? That was so good. It was in the moment. And if you don't act immediately, then you're going to miss these little teeny tips and tricks or one little tweak to your business that could have totally changed your business forever. Like forever, forever, forever. Um, I don't know how I got in this tangent, but anyways, um, gratitude, do it. You don't need a journal to do it. However, I will say a journal is nice to have, because I think when you have a gratitude journal, it makes you be more consistent rather than just jotting it down. And if you guys want to know where to find one, you literally can go to Amazon and type in the word gratitude journal, and there are 5,000 different ones that come up. My personal favorite is the 5 minute journal, but really any of them work. And there's even paperback 5 minute journals, like $5, you guys. I'm not talking like $1 million. And it's a tax write off. Don't forget that. So if you're not doing your gratitude, do it. For those of you guys that shared something you were grateful for in the last 24 hours, thanks for doing that. So we are gosh, what day is it? Man, I'm losing my April 5th. Wow. Okay. Lavelle News. We just had free shipping this weekend. Woo woo. Wouldn't that be cool if they extended that today? I'd be totally down. Um, but it's probably not going to happen. So I'm not going to get my hopes up. But I will tell you that, 5 days in, we've got a little over 3 weeks left before these bonuses end, or, for this time around anyways. And conference is right around the corner. There's so many exciting things happening. If you are new with us, um, first of all, you guys couldn't have joined at a better time. And just know that the next 3 weeks are going to be the super crucialist, because it's go time. And there's going to be a lot of people that are running for those bonuses. They've been running, that have been with us. You guys have been running for those bonuses since January, since they were announced. The day they were announced, you said, I'm going to get it. And you haven't quite hit it yet. But that's that last month that you're like, I got to do it. I got to do it. I got to do it. And, just that little reminder, please know, please know that bonuses do not make or break the rest of your life. Just like going VIP 800 and 1600 does not dictate the future of your business. Whether you grab a bonus or not by the end of April does not dictate your future with Lavelle. And I hope everybody paints that picture in their mind. I have seen more people literally give up their entire business after bonus season when they don't hit a bonus. It's crazy. It's like, dude, you've been doing this for 2 years, and just because you didn't hit a bonus this time, you're going to just give up. But people get so defeated, and they start getting down on themselves, and they start comparing themselves to the people that did, and all of the things that happen, that they get in their own head so much that they physically just don't want to do this anymore. And I had somebody in my inbox the other day, and I'm going to pass this over to my guests today and see if they have any thoughts on this particular topic. But I had somebody come in my inbox. We were chatting back and forth, and she was talking about how she's been here a while, and she was like, I'm not a complainer. I show up every day, which this person does. She was like, but can I just say that sometimes it just sucks. It sucks really bad. And she was like, and she's not a complainer. I mean, this person is a person that shows up. This person is a person, but they've kind of hit a little bit of a wall, and they're like, what does it take to get to that next place? Anybody feel like that on here? Anybody feel like, God, I do all the things. Like, I feel like I can't give any more of myself to Lavelle. I feel like I show up on the Zooms, I'm doing all the things that people are telling me to do, but I just feel like I'm getting nowhere right now. And it is freaking frustrating. And you know what? I just want to be able to complain and whine and yell. I'm not going to quit, but I'm just irritated. And I said to her, when I get in those places, and I know it sounds so cliche, but believe me, I get in those places, y'all. I don't care how much money you make doing anything in life. You get in places where you feel stuck, where you feel like, man, I have not signed anybody that's gone VIP or 1600 in over a year. That is a true statement coming out of a 200K's mouth. Like, why? I see all these other teams and leaders under me signing all these people that are grabbing all these bonuses, and I can't even help somebody go VIP 800 or 1600. I'm thinking, what is wrong? What the heck am I doing wrong? Like, we all get in these places in our minds, and it doesn't matter what rank you are, how much money you're making. So, don't also take the fact that you want to be depressed or disappointed away from yourself because you're making more money than someone else. Wherever you're at in your personal business, you have the right to feel the way you feel, right? I mean, we all have our emotions. So don't ever go, I should just shut up because there's people that want to be where I'm at right now, right? Don't ever take away the value and emotion and the feelings that you have, just because somebody else has less than you at this point. They don't know your struggles before you got to where you are right now, right? And now you're hitting more struggles because that's the name of the game. But I was telling this person what I do when I get in these places and I get in them, trust and believe that. I literally think about my options. Okay. I think about my options. And I was like, so option one is I quit. I just quit. Am I still going to use the products? Yes, I love the products. I'm never going to stop using the products. So I'm just going to, but I'll quit because I just don't want to do this anymore or be a check collector, whatever. Option two is I find another company. And that ain't an option either because I've seen every single comp plan on the face of planet Earth. I'm always trying new products to help my friends out that are in the industry. And there is nothing better than the Lavelle products. I promise you that. But there's definitely nothing better than our comp plan. So that ain't no option either. And then option three is I get to work. Like I just realized and have fun again. And that's what I said is, are you having fun? Because when every single person on this Zoom started, nobody here thought, I bet most people, I know when I started in network marketing, I just wanted an extra $500 a month. How many of you guys just want an extra $500 a month? Or when you started, you had a small number in your head that would help your family, 500 or less. In the chat, just curious, how many of you just was like, those rich people, those are few and far between. I bet you nobody gets a 200K in that company. I just would like 12K or 4K, or I just want a little extra money, right? And then something happens and we come in and we're excited and we're full of like all of these, we're getting on Zooms and belief is getting poured into us and we have this excitement and then we start hitting walls or things don't start going our way. And a lot of you, it took off. How many of you actually came in, took off, you make a little bit of money and you're unhappy right now? When all you wanted was a little bit of money. But now you started the comparison game and then you started I'm stuck game and then this game and your head started playing all these games. Here's the deal, guys. When you stop having fun, that's the biggest piece of this puzzle. When you are no longer having fun and every day you wake up and it's pressure and it's like, why can't I send a customer? Why can't I send a promoter? I want to get to the next level. Like as soon as you let go and just have fun, that's when it starts coming. It really is. And think about why you started. And think about, am I making more right now than I was before I started? Even if you're getting free product, that's more than before you started. If you're making an extra $50 a week, that's more than before you joined. If you're making $100 a week, that's more than before you joined. So why would it ever be an option to quit? Right? I mean, again, unless you guys have found a better product and a better comp plan, then go for it. Or if you just aren't going to use the products anymore, then go ahead and quit. But if you're going to use the products anyways, and if you're making a little more, whether that's earning free products or 50 bucks a week or 25 or whatever, if you're making more than when you started, why not have fun? Do the things you enjoy, take the pressure off, and watch as things will start to happen once you start getting in that grateful headspace, right? Grateful for what you already have. Because I don't know about you, but the alternative for me to quit this and go back to waiting tables and bartending and driving around in a car that none of the doors open, like that is not an option for me ever again. Okay. Like I will get my head out of my butt and get back to work every day when I think about that. Right. So for those of you guys that feel like you're in that kind of space right now, I want you to think about what your options are. And if I get it, if you're not passionate about the products, I don't know why you're here. I mean, that's and that's probably why, honestly, it is 100% why you're not moving forward because you have no story, because you have no passion for the products. And when you don't have passion, people can feel that. They know whether you're just trying to make a buck and sell something or whether you truly believe these products are doing something for you. And it doesn't even have to be the Thrive experience. It could be any one of our 25 products. So what I would do is really sit down and I would say, what are my options? Because if you're going to use the products, why would you ever quit? If you're going to use them anyways, why would you not hang around, hop on the Zooms, post on Facebook, share with other people, wear your DFT where it's noticeable, and let's see where it goes, right? Like, why not? I don't see why not. Like you're going to do those steps anyways. It's like the next 5 years of your life is going to go by, whether you quit Lavelle tomorrow or go join another company or go back to work, whatever your deal is. 5 years is going to go by anyways. Why not let it go by, trying to see what happens with this side gig and putting a little bit of time into it and take that pressure off and stop feeling like there was a time limit. Oh, I'm not 4K yet, then I should quit. Well, who said you had to be 4K yet? Who said that you were going to be 4K by this time? And who also said that you're a failure if you're not? Because that's all stuff that you're deciding in your own mind, right? I want to bring in my guests today who like are like some of the sweetest people I know, Katie and Elizabeth. I don't know who wants to go first, but I could have went off on a little tangent. But y'all have any thoughts on what I was just talking
Um,
about?
I have lots of thoughts actually. I kind of
Good.
wrote some notes and thoughts before we came on today, and my first thing is like limiting beliefs and stuff like that. So this is absolutely perfect. Um,
Woo!
like kind of like what Lisa says, I mean, a lot of your thoughts, guys, they have no power unless you give them power and feed into it. I mean, I've had lots of limiting beliefs, I mean, in the past and recently. And a lot of this too, like I recently just hit 4K last month, and one of the strongest things I've heard while being on these Zooms is Lisa said too, like it's your time when it's your time. Like if you want it bad, just keep working hard enough, and it'll come to you when it's your time for it to come to you. I mean, you can't get yourself hung up on just wanting it to instantly happen because maybe it's just not your time yet. They say everything happens for a reason, and some people think it's so cliche. But, something happens to you, and then like months down the road, something else happens, and then finally you're like, oh my God, like that's why that other thing didn't happen or why it didn't happen yet. Like it'll make a full circle eventually. Um, Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. This is my second Zoom ever, and so I'm breaking my comfort zone, and because
You
you're
look like
also
you
not
live
going to
in the
grow
coziest.
if you
You
don't
look
do
like
the
you live in a
uncomfortable
cozy
thing.
log cabin. Like you got those little lights in the background, and it's like the A line going up. I'm like, oh my god, that looks so cozy. I want to be in that room right now.
It really is a little log cabin. I'm in the middle of the mountains, and
Yeah,
my house was built in like the 1700s. It is super cozy, and it's all
I
wood.
freaking love it. I love it.
Well, like, so I guess I have some of this. I might go off in random things, but these are the notes I have written down. A lot of my limiting beliefs recently, especially starting this new month, has been like re-ranking because I just hit my 4K last month, and like, holy crap, was that amazing! I've been working my butt off since I started promoting, and it was just it's still kind of surreal to me. But the new month came around, and your ticker goes back to zero. You got to maintain the 4K right now in bonus season to get your bonus. And I'm like, holy crap, what if I don't do it again? What if I'm not capable enough of doing it again? All of those thoughts came into my head, and I'm like, you gotta stop, girl. Like this is keep thinking these things is not gonna get you that 4K again. It's not gonna help you maintain that rank. And I have my dream board right next to my bed, and like I was sitting there one day, I'm like, I've already, Texas retreat was on there. I've already crossed that off, and now I'm going to Texas again for Palooza. Never in a million years would I thought that I would be doing it twice in a year. 4K is on that. Like there's all these things that are on my dream board that I'm slowly crossing off, and I'm like, you got to stop your limiting beliefs or you're not going to keep crossing those things off. And that's why I think the dream boards are so important too, because they just remind you of, at least for me anyway, they remind me of where I was. You know, I've only been part of Lavelle for 8 months now. And like Lisa said too, like with quitting, like if I think about my life before I said yes to these products and before I said yes to be a promoter, like even though you have, you know, the weeks where you don't think you're getting anywhere, or you're not doing anything, or you might want to quit, like if I think about my life before this company came into my life, I don't want that again. You know, like some days are super hard. Sometimes I don't want to do the do. Sometimes I don't want to post. Sometimes I don't want to do my IPAs. But like, if I think about my life before this company came into it, it was kind of crap. And I don't want that life again. You know, like I want this. I want this tribe. I want this community. I want this company. I want it to challenge me. I want it to break my comfort zone, like me speaking on this Zoom right now. You know, I want all of those things. And if I quit, what am I going to have? You know? So, I just I love all of that. You know, the daily affirmations, like, and you know, sometimes, especially recently with having my limiting beliefs, write those down and tear them the f up, burn them. I don't know, something. You know, write those down too. Write down, I'm never gonna get anywhere. All of that. Write it down and destroy it. You know, because that's very impactful too. You know, we did stuff like that in Texas, and I'm like, it took so much weight off my shoulders. And I did it again the other day too. And you know, something else that I've absolutely started loving doing is sometimes I'll write down little affirmations before I go to bed, and I'll stick them under my pillow, and that's like all I think about before I go to bed. And I visualize so hard before I go to bed, like what happens when I hit 12K, like who am I calling, where am I sitting, like I do that before bed. And it's been like super impactful, because I think also, instead of just starting our mornings with gratitude, doing it at night too kind of sets you up for waking up better too. So that's my little tidbit.
I want to say too, like, I know there's a lot of people on here that did get bonuses, and that is a fear that goes through their head. Am I going to be able to maintain these bonuses? You know what? The fact that you even achieved that is incredible. What's the worst? So you miss it for a month. You're getting a bonus is something on top of. Okay, so a bonus is extra. Bonus is limited as well. It doesn't last forever. Okay, what's the worst that happens? You lose it for a month or 2 months? Like, like, that's what I always think of, is that worst case scenario. Okay, well, what does that mean? That means nothing. It means I keep working. Like, it means I have more months, I'll get it back. Like, so if we're spending so much time thinking about those things that do limit us, those things that we think are hard to do, oh my gosh, like, that's where our mind will go constantly. And then we're making ourselves so unhappy, and we're so stressed about it, that we stop doing the things that we need to be doing. And people can feel your energy, especially with this kind of business. Energy is everything, and the energy you put out is what people are attracted to. They want to be part of that thing that's making you so excited and happy and fulfilled. And if you're worrying about, one of the things my mom always used to say is, worry is the most wasted emotion. And it is, because no matter how much you worried about, what if I lose it, it's not going to change the outcome. The only thing that will change the outcome is keep working forward. And that's the only thing that could. But worrying about it is never going to change what's going to happen in the future. So those of you guys that have grabbed those bonuses, any bonus at all, just know that, worrying if you're not going to grab it is going to take away the time you could be thinking about how you're going to keep it. It's huge. Katie, what do you got?
Okay, so yeah, everything I have definitely plays into what Elizabeth was saying and Lisa was saying. So my story is not linear, I mean, most of the time in this business it isn't. I think it was like, somebody asked me the other day, so I looked. So it was 6 months to 4K. It took me 19 months to 12K, and I've been solidly holding 12K, and this month will be 4 years for me. I have a massive leg that I'm so grateful for. And last month, I did not hit my bonus. I was about $6,700 away. So on April 1st, I woke up and I said, okay, like enough is enough, like enough excuses. I mean, there's like, if I look at my journey, there's a lot of things that went into my journey and in the last 4 years, and I probably was not ready, like, to be honest. Like, even though maybe I was frustrated and wanted it, I just wasn't ready. There's so many so many factors that played into that. But I woke up and I decided that I was going to message to my friends on my that are sidelines on my team that I knew ranked up and grabbed those bonuses. And I said, okay, like, what did you do? Like, I kind of just like interviewed them, like, what happened? What did you do? How did you make this happen for you and your team? And both of them literally said, like, I just made the decision to do it. Like, I just made the decision to try. And one of my friends, we were having a video chat, her and I was telling her about what I was doing and how I got there, and I felt stuck, and how I felt like every month I get stuck at that point. And she said, stop. And I was like, what? Like, what? And she's like, the fact that you say that you get there, you like, and stop, like, you're blocking yourself. And sometimes we just need like an outside perspective. Sometimes we do need to talk to other people and see what they're doing. My 200K, Steph G has told me millions of times what this girl told me, but hearing it from someone else and being willing and open to receive the information is so important. Because you guys, like, a negative mind will never get you a positive life, kind of what we've been talking about. And I kind of like to give the analogy of, we moved from our hometown to a different area, took us a while to sell our old house, and then we rented for like 5 years, and I would get so mad about it because I didn't want to be renting. And I would say things like, we're going to be stuck here forever. I'm going to have to rent forever, things like that. And when I finally realized that, like, what I was saying was affecting our outcome, and started visualizing and started, we want to buy a house. We want something permanent for our family. And I always said I want an office because I work from home. And I've always worked from home with my full-time job. And my office was a bedroom last time. Right now, I'm sitting in my office. We bought a house, and we walked into it, and I told my husband, I was like, the first time we saw it, I was like, it has an office. Like, you don't understand. Like, that's what I want. And so we made it happen. And so I think a lot of times we just, like Lisa said, we fall into that comparison game. There were so many times in my journey that I have fallen into that comparison game. And I, probably don't give myself enough credit about how far I've come. In fact, I was talking to one of my best friends the other day, and I said, what I'm most proud about in this journey is my personal growth. Because if I look at like who I was 4 years ago, I am not the same person. Even last year, like, I'm not the same person. Even a couple months ago, I'm not the same person. But I think it's important to know that, like, everybody has a story, everybody has a journey, and there's a reason why. During this whole entire time, there was a time when I was at a job that was so detrimental, and I did not get along with the person that was above me. I had come back from Punta Cana, and they wanted to remove me from my leadership position. It was probably one of the hardest things that I ever went through, and it forced me to grow. It forced me to be the person that I am today, but also at the same time, it took a lot of my energy. So I can't ever be mad at myself or feel bad for not ranking up or moving to that next level, because there was just things that I had to go through. And oftentimes, if you're not willing to say something, if you're not willing to admit something, that will hold you back. Like I said, 4 years ago, I was pretty negative, especially with my thinking, and not even knowing it. Like, when I first joined you guys, like Lisa was talking about, I just wanted to put gas in my vehicle every week. Every week. That's all I wanted. I'm a social worker. I drive for my job. Mileage checks do not cut anywhere near close to what you need to be able to fill up your gas tank all the time. And that's all I want. And I went from wanting that, and if I would have given up, I wouldn't have, the auto bonus and a brand new Lexus that we bought last year, and we wouldn't be more stable, and we wouldn't have to not live paycheck to 3 days before paycheck, which actually, I can remember times when we would be like, oh my gosh, it's payday. I need to go run and get groceries before all the bills go out, before student loans, before, rent, before all that stuff. And I feel so grateful for where I'm at. And I think that the biggest thing, gratitude and being grateful, but not focusing on where you're not, being grateful for where you are and ready to receive what's going to come is just, it's so huge. And I just want all of you to know that, like Lisa has said, that not everyone's journey is like the same. It's different for everyone.
The fact that you've held 12K, I mean, that's like, there are people on this very Zoom right now that wish they were 12K, or that got to 12K and lost it and wish that they were just be able to hold 12K. And that's one of the other things I think about when I get anywhere in the dumps is, man, somebody else would kill to be where I am right now, and it goes for every single person on this Zoom. There's somewhere in your life where things are thriving. It might not be in Thrive, but it's somewhere. And there's somebody else out there that wishes their life was thriving in that area. I mean, we all have different gifts and abilities, and we're better at things than other people are. I mean, we all have those little things. And it's, being grateful for the fact that where we are. And you're right, it is a decision. Like, I know exactly what they're talking about. I know it's not the answer that a lot of people look for when they get on a Zoom. Tell me what you did. I decided. Okay, it sounds like ridiculous. Okay, well, I decided I'm a 200K and I ain't one yet. Like, I get what you're saying, but literally, I, every time I knew I was going to do something, I knew it. Even if it looked, I said it, I knew it, I gave no thoughts that it wouldn't happen. I can't explain it, but it is it's exactly what they said. I decided. Like, it's not going to not happen this month. I'm going to make it happen. And there's something, I think a light switch goes off that you just do everything and everything that you can instead of reverting back to those excuses that you make in the past, or the things that pop in your head about doubt and, oh, I'm, not going to get there. It's different though when you decide, because those things don't come into your mind. You don't let them. You just know it's going to happen. And and does it always happen? No. Sometimes I've decided and it didn't get there, but I got dang close, there's a definite shift when you can shift your mindset. And I mean, there's a lot of things that I am sure, and it was funny because I was talking to someone and I was like, I get sick of hearing my own voice saying the same things to people, because if I'm sick of it, they must be sick of hearing me say it. Like, I get sick of telling people it's all about mindset. I get sick of telling people you've got to be consistent. I get sick of telling people, because I wish, and it's not that I'm sick of talking to them or, sick of giving anyone advice. I'm sick of saying the same words because I wish I had magic ones for that person. You know what I mean? But there is no magic to this. Like, it really is those things that I say over and over again that I get sick of hearing myself say, but it is those things. It's about consistency. I was talking about last week how many people get so excited when bonuses are announced, but that's the only time I ever see them. It's like, oh, where'd this person pop up again? Bonuses were announced. And then bonuses are over and they didn't grab one and they're gone again for 6 months until another bonus is announced. And then they wonder, well, why am I never getting anywhere? But I've just tried so hard, Lisa. Well, yeah, for the last 5 months, but then you disappeared for 6 months. Like, people don't understand how crucial that consistency is. And one of the things that I hope everybody on here really thinks about today and moving forward is that these will not be the only bonuses Lavelle has announced. Do you want to know how I know that? Because I've been here 4.5 years, and guess what, guys? They've announced several different bonuses in 4.5 years. You might not get these ones. Get the next one, or the next one, or the next one. It's about timing, but you will hit one of them. If you don't give up, if you get consistent, if you put in the work, you're going to hit a bonus eventually. But you're never going to hit a bonus if you're only showing up when bonuses are announced. And until people really get that through their heads, there's really not a whole lot. I've been getting this question a lot too, is how do I motivate people? And the bottom line is that I just said it to a girl yesterday. If these bonuses did not wake them up, you're not going to be able to wake them up. Like, if that's not going to make them run, what could you possibly put on top of it? And really, it's about their mindset shift. It's a decision they have to make, and it's not easy being a leader, is it? I mean, and if you've got one person under you, guys, I'm sure you've had to face questions like, why am I not growing? Why did this happen? Why did that happen? What do I do here? And when you feel like you just don't know what else to say, that's, I think, the most frustrating thing for me as a leader is not being able to, well, I can tell you the most frustrating thing for me as a leader. The very most frustrating thing for me as a leader to see is somebody that I know does all of the things. I know they show up. They're on all the Zooms. To my knowledge, I don't live with them. Obviously, I don't see their daily actions, but to my knowledge, they're doing what they need to be doing. And then they're not getting anywhere yet. That is so frustrating for me, because then you see someone else that really is climbing the ladder, maybe because they got lucky signing the two right people that are taking them up the ladder, and they're not really putting in the time or the effort or the work. But isn't that everything in life? I mean, haven't you all had a job where there's somebody at that job that just seems to keep getting promoted and you're doing more work than them, right? Like, it doesn't matter what, it's not network marketing or Lavelle or whatever. So I want to share this story with you guys really quick. And Katie and Elizabeth, you guys, maybe you've already faced this, because usually this happens pretty quickly to somebody in their business. But I had somebody on our team that signed somebody, and basically this person had something happen. I'm not going to share the exact scenario, but I'll share a similar scenario. Um, Something went wrong with customer service, and they didn't get their pack for a couple weeks. Okay. But they were being successful. They were signing customers and promoters. In fact, they got VIP 800 and 1600. But they decided they were going to quit because they didn't get their pack, and they didn't want anybody to be part of a company where people didn't get their packs on time. And one of my girls said, dude, is there something you can do? Can you talk this girl into not leaving? So I got in a message, and, of course I said, look, growing pains and $3 billion company and COVID. And, at the end of the day, this situation does suck, but there's always situations. I don't care what you're a part of. There's always situations. You got to choose your heart, right? And, I hope you realize the long term and the lives you could change and the money you could make here. And this is the first roadblock. I hope you can push through it. And the person's like, I don't want to. I'm not going to push through it. And, I told my girl, I promise you, if it wasn't this, it would have been the next thing, or the next thing, or the next thing, or the next thing. Because I promise you, I've been doing this for 11 years, and guess what? There's been shipments that were wrong. People have gotten the wrong order before. There's been people that it got lost, or the mail lost it, or this lost it. It wasn't. There's been so many things that weren't even the company's fault that I was with. or it was. But that didn't matter because I don't think there's anything I've ever ordered online where at times things get lost in the mail or missed or I didn't get it or they overcharged me or there's a million things, right? In any business. And you're going to hit them at some point. You're going to hit, somebody is going to tell you that they put on a patch and they had to go to the emergency room. I don't know if those, and maybe they won't ever do that, but let's just say they did. Oh my God, I got anxiety. I mean, there's going to be a million and one things that you run into, just as you would if you owned any business. Any business. I used to work at a restaurant, you guys. There would be people that complained about the food, complained about the service, complained. It wouldn't matter how perfect it was. Somebody came in there, they had a bad day, they just complained, right? Like even if everything was perfect.
It's like complaining to the waitress about like the burger being overcooked, like it's their fault, and it's not.
Right. Yes, exactly. Like I would get my the tip taken out on me when it was the cook's fault. You know,
Yeah,
I'm like, wait, I didn't
I
get the
still
food,
work in a
right?
restaurant, so
Yeah,
I get that.
yeah, you know, girl, yeah, anybody that's worked in service, it's the same thing. But you know, this girl was so upset, but I don't want to lose her. She's gonna be so good, and I'm like, but she wasn't gonna be so good because she's gonna quit over something this silly. Then she was gonna quit. There was gonna be something along the way that was gonna make this person quit.
That's like back to the everything happens for a reason. Like even though it sucks losing that person right now, like if this is making them feel that way right now, what if in like a few months, you know, something else happens and it's even more dramatic or more of a loss, you know, or more stressful on you? Like at least, you know, if they want to quit now over something like that, like imagine the drama or something else they could have brought onto you or the stress they could have brought onto you in the future with something bigger.
For sure. I mean, I've been doing this for 11 years, and I can tell you that it has to do with attitude. And this person even said, well, I had friends that already had bad experiences with Lavelle. I was just giving them a chance. Look, at the end of the day, if somebody is looking for a reason, they will find it. And it doesn't matter what kind of money you put in front of them or how many bonuses they get. And you know what? When I started in network marketing, a very wise person told me, you find out what people are made of when they hit a wall. And that is the truest statement you will ever hear, ever, y'all. You find out what people are made of when they hit a wall. Do they find a way over it? Or do they give up the second that they hit that wall? Or do they find a reason to give up when they hit that wall? And at the end of the day, I've seen it. I've watched a person come in and they complain about everything. And it's always someone else's fault or the company's fault. Eventually, even if I can talk them through staying 3-4 times, eventually they always end up quitting because they're looking. It's the mental attitude. It's the attitude. It's the growth of, you know, it's really lack of growth of, you know, a leader or mental attitude, not even a leader, but just an individual. And you guys are going to hit walls. Every single person on here is going to hit a wall. I don't care who you are. Like, you're just going to hit one. Who are you? What are you made of? Are you going to quit? Or are you going to get with your upline and say, how can we fix this? What we are as a leader on this team, the second you get a customer under you or a promoter, you are now a leader. And are you going to be a doctor of solutions? Or are you going to be the person that throws your hands in the air and throws a fit? Because I don't care where you go, what you do. You can go to 20 other network marketing companies, and I promise you, I mean, I guess if you're like me, I came from one that there was always issues, and it was usually the company's fault. I've been with Lavelle for 4.5 years, and very few issues happen. So I know what it can look like to be with a company that does not have their stuff together when it comes to that. But if it's people's first time and, you know, you're disappointed by something, I'm going to let you know right now, you're going to be disappointed sometimes. Like things are going to happen, whether it's our fault, you know, whether one of us dropped the ball and you're going to drop the ball at some point. How are you going to act when you drop the ball? You know, are you going to learn from it? Are you going to stand up, apologize, admit your mistake? Or are you going to have to be right. You know, there's so many things. We could be on this Zoom all day on that topic. Um, because that's one thing I've learned in this business as a leader, a good leader, dude, I will be wrong every day. Like, I do not need to be right. And before this industry, I had to be right. I was that person that fought my whatever I was thinking, I would fight that to the death. Like, I had to be right. Even when I would realize halfway through I might be wrong, I still had to be right. And now I'm like, you're right. Because being right does not make you money, guys. Being right does not make you money. Um, and you have to realize that a lot of people coming in haven't come as far as you when it comes to mentally mentally actually getting that mindset that they need to be a good leader, to develop into a 200K, and all of the work that a lot of you guys have done being in this industry, you know, gratitude and vision boards and investing your time into self development and self help. You have to give people grace, and you have to be willing to be wrong, because it is more important sometimes for those people to be right than for you to be right. And it's crazy because we can push people out if we're not growing and developing. I have got, you know, 80K and 200K leaders that they're there by paycheck. They're there with the people that they need to be there. But mentally, the reason why they kind of get stuck where they're at, or that I've seen them lose rank, is solely because they have not done any self development. It's because they're always getting in their own way. And people will stick with people they love, people they trust, people they know. I mean, I've had people tell me, I've been with you all this time and I keep staying, and even though I'm not making any money yet or whatever, because I believe in you, you know, I feel like you're not going to steer me wrong. And if people don't feel like you care about them or have your best interest, or, you know, if you've got to be the right one, if that makes sense, they're out in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? They don't feel like they owe anything to you when you haven't done anything for them, if that makes sense. And I don't mean by giving them something in this business or paying for something. I mean physically by being there, that person saying good job, that person saying what do you need, that person checking in. And like I said, that's a whole nother Zoom. That's a whole nother Zoom. I need to write that down for next week because I got a bunch of good stuff on some mindset stuff for you guys. But oh my gosh, that went so fast. We're already at the top of the hour. Um, Elizabeth and Katie, you guys are rock. You're awesome. Thanks for getting up. I mean, I don't know if it's 4 o'clock for you guys where you are, but man.
Listen, I had to do it because the first time I spoke, when you put in our Texas chat, I was like, oh, I really want to do this, but I'm really nervous. This has been my favorite Zoom since I started promoting with Lavelle, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And then I'm like, okay, you have to do it, because if there's anything I learned in Texas is that you got to break your comfort zone or I'm not going to grow. Like, if I don't break through the grass, I'm not going to go anywhere. And then again, I'm like, I don't know what we're talking about. I'm going to be so terrible. Holy crap. I'm so nervous. And I'm like, listen, if I don't start now, what kind of leader am I going to be eventually if I never speak up or never tell my truth or give advice or whatever? I'm like, I might stutter and I might lose my spot, but like, I'm never going to get better at Zooms either if I don't just start and doing it. So thank you for having me, I guess.
Oh my God, I'm so proud of you. And Katie, I mean, I believe this is your time, Katie. If you made the decision, when you said what did you say, like 4,600 or 60, what did you still need?
6,700.
Dude, that can happen. That can happen. Like, not just can, that absolutely 1000% can happen. So I am excited for you because I do believe this can absolutely be your month. And I mean, it's doing stuff like this. Like, I mean, it raises your belief and your confidence too. So thank you for stepping up and hopping on today.
Thank you. And I would say, you guys, misery loves company. So if you are just like, you keep talking to the same people and you're not getting anywhere, reach out to someone, ask them how they ranked up, what they're doing. I mean, don't blow up their phone too much, but just, you know, take what they say and try it. You You may just surprise yourself.
Amen. Amen. I think there's going to be a lot of people that surprise themselves this month. Okay, who is ending us out with the 100 Days to Brave? If you're just joining us, we end out our mornings with a book called 100 Days to Brave. It's just a little way to end the Zoom with a little challenge for the day. And it usually kind of fits on with what we're talking about. So I'll be interested to see if today's is.
All right, you guys, I am doing it, and we are on day 53. Small decisions matter. What a person plants, he will harvest. Galatians 6:7. When you're going through a change, small decisions matter. Going to the gym a few times a week isn't going to change your life immediately, but it is going to matter. Going to the gym even once a week probably doesn't feel like a brave choice, but it is, because a little yes can be a step in the right direction, even if it isn't a leap. It is important to make good small decisions when you're in the midst of change because they do matter. You know, small decisions don't feel very brave in the moment. When you think of being brave, you probably think of giant leaps, grand gestures. Those are clearly brave, but it's also brave to be intentional and make small, healthy decisions because it goes against our human nature to put effort into things that are seemingly insignificant. The cowardly way to live is to unplug, not to care, to say it doesn't matter. It's brave to make small decisions with the big picture in mind. Little yeses lead to big yeses. Looking at the importance of small decisions from another angle, saying those little no's along the way allows you to do great things. Saying little no's to give you some space in your life allows other things to grow. It's just like a garden. You can't say yes to every seed. You can only garden certain things because if you said yes to every seed available, there would be no space for things to grow. When you look at your life, what are the parts of it that if they grew would bring glory to God? What fulfills you? What's healthy for your heart? Ask God these questions, and as you pan out, look at the big picture in your life and don't take any small decisions lightly. Today's task is be brave. Make a small decision today. A conversation, a meal, an email. Do one thing brave and let's see how it changes your day.
Once again, I feel like it so fits this. Change something today, guys. So I asked in the comments, and I think I'm just gonna be super the last person, Amber Nicole. Amber Nicole, you just won a morning show gift. Message myself or Brittany Hyder, and we will give you the little choices, and you can pick one, and we'll send it out to you. So congratulations, and I want to thank again my co-hosts today, Katie and Elizabeth. You guys rock. Thanks, Brittany, for hopping on and recording and making sure that I was up. You're so cute. And then, because y'all, somebody needs to make sure I'm up. That is
Well,
like
I
a
was
real
like,
thing.
I'm out of ideas of stuff to talk about, so.
You're like, she better get on, or else it's gonna be a silent Zoom today. We're gonna do a meditating Zoom.
We're just gonna sit in silence for an hour, guys. Enjoy.
Silent Zoom today. We'll mime everything, and then I don't even know where that came from. I'm tired, y'all. Okay, and then and I want to thank Tiffany for sharing our 100 Days to Brave. You guys, we'll see you Wednesday. And who do we got on Wednesday?
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline, and Jacqueline's got some guests. It'll be a good one. So Wednesday morning, same time, same place, same link. Making sure y'all are here, setting your alarms. And it's really up to you guys to plug your new people into the morning Zoom. So make sure that they are aware of it. Don't just assume they know about it because we post in the team pages. Because I know when I was new, I was like trying to figure everything out, and sometimes you just miss this stuff. And it's these kind of things that can get people, pumped up and ready to start their day and build their business. So make sure you share. Thanks, everybody. We'll see
Bye,
you
y'all.
Wednesday. Bye, y'all.